After one of my first interviews, across the bottom came, if you have any mental issues, you can call Lifeline. And I looked, it took me back. I stood there and I didn't know whether to feel upset. How dare they? And I went, hang on a minute. You've just told the whole world you went to Google how to commit suicide. That's what Lifeline said for. And I went, wow.
The glitz and glam is the fame, but it's the work backstage that makes the game. I'm Crystel and Bandal, your host. Come with me behind the lens and watch their stories unfold. Our next guest is another one of our own from down here in Australia. She is known to be the first 60-year-old woman to win an international title for Australia. After being a pageant contestant, she's reached a new level of herself and become a national director. And you know what? I'm really excited to see what else she has in store. But not only that, not only the crown that she has, not only who she is now, I want to know more about her. Please welcome onto the show, Robbie. Everything that you've done, because you were saying before that you hadn't really realized the impact that you've been able to make.
I reflect every day because I sort of, every day, everything that I look back on takes on a different angle. And takes on a different reason. And I don't know how many angles or reasons you can find to do with having a crown put on your head or frocking up or doing whatever or raising money for cancer. Reflection and looking back and saying, oh, I crossed the T but I didn't dot the I on that one. So let's now put that into the pageant. As a director, I can take that in a different direction. How awesome would that be? So I think reflection and looking back helps you to gain and move forward into areas and being able to put it out there and show and help. Yeah, it's massive. My reflection, my very short journey of pageantry to where I am now as a national director.
It's really amazing.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And if you told me even 10 years ago I would be doing this, what? But here I am, and yeah.
Feels good.
It feels great, and I feel right to be here. And every day I wake up and go, what have I done? You've done it because it feels right. I think there was only ever one morning I woke up and I went, oh my goodness, I should not have started this. And within 10 minutes I've gone, hey, but what a truckload of fun you're having. Let's keep going, there's a reason why. And yeah, reflection's great.
Now, when you have the crown on your head, sometimes, obviously, we were talking earlier, and you were saying that your competition for the Miss Australia and Miss New Zealand World goes for 3 days, which, if you think about it, they're kind of in this mindset of this competition, and it can feel a bit like a marathon, mentally and emotionally, sometimes physically as well, if they're trying to keep themselves composed. Now, if you are the winner, for a second, did you ever feel lost when that crown was put on your head? Were you like, what do I do now?
I was stunned. I remember like the final 3, because me, over my head, I just never thought that I would win. And I think there was maybe Southeast Asia, Puerto Rico and myself left on the stage. With the final 3 step forward? And I didn't step forward because I didn't realise I was the final. And she looked at me and the girls put her hand out and I went, oh my goodness. And that's, you know, I was just stunned. And when my name was called, I've gone, how exciting. What do I do now? Where do I go? And I stopped right there. Because I went, I'm here, I'm me, I'm going to love this. And then I find out where I'm going. So I was just totally stunned.
Yeah, it's kind of deciding where you're going from now. It's always deciding what you do with yourself.
Yeah.
Every time you reach a new level or a new level of self-awareness. A lot of what you talked about is being able to go back from within and looking at yourself, analyzing yourself, and then coming back out again. And then going, okay, so what are my options? What am I going to do now? And whatever it is I want to do, I am going to go head on and believe in myself. When you are, as a national director, do you take part in choosing at all on who becomes a representative?
Nothing. I am not involved in judging at all. It's a choice I have made. I will know nothing until all the names are read out. We're having 6 judges. All of them are leaders in their own different fields, media, arts, football, medicine, and that's how I wanted it. I have 2 auditors, and we have a runner. Sheets go to the auditors, that goes into their room. They'll calculate and do everything, and they don't come back out. I don't see them. I don't want to see them.
Why have you decided to do it that way?
Because I think it's fairer. I love helping out with judging, and I love doing all of that. But this, for world and for a world stage, I want people who don't know these girls. Might be following them on social media. They have bios. We have a judges meeting. They will read their bios. They will see their photos and the judging criteria and everything we've had. But no, I don't want to be involved in that. I don't want to have a say. Even the auditors do know if there's a tie. It's the highest in interview out of those 2 that will think. If it's a 3-way, we go highest in interview, next highest in interview, then you know how it works. But they are all, we have a meeting and a judges meeting prior, and they will be there, and the way it all works, everyone will know. If something particularly needs my attention, of course I'll step in. But judging, no, I want the girls to be the best of themselves. That's why I'm coaching the girls right through. I'm giving the way they're going to be judged on, the criteria of the length of their evening gown. I'm coaching them all in this. They know everything because they're all on an even keel. When they go out, it's about them, and it's about them, and it's their visions and their thoughts and where they want to be. Not saying, oh, she should have won, but her dress was up to here instead of down here. No, it's going to be an even footpath. I can't have any part in their judging because I've already helped them get out there. I just want to sit back and see how they deliver.
And enjoy the show.
And enjoy the show, yes.
And see the results that you've been able to create with them. Now, when you're coaching the girls, what made you actually, what are some of the challenges you face when you're coaching the girls?
Is just make sure, some of the challenges are, you can see from within, they don't quite get themselves. That's a challenge, to be able to bring it out. And I love having girls up on the runway, and you can see them and they're a little bit like this, and next minute, all of a sudden, out they come, a change of music, doing this a bit of a different way. And I think I did that when I first walked New York and modelled in New York. I was there and I went, and I got there, and as soon as I got on that stage, I went, just go do it, girl. And that's what I did. I overcame my own challenges, and I'm due to go back in September, but of course that won't be happening. So hopefully we're available to walk again next February. But the challenges are of bringing that inner gorgeous girl out and being able to really represent herself.
How are you able to bring that kind of beauty out of them?
I think by encouragement and by saying, hey, this is gorgeous, but you know, if you put your foot that way, or you did this, or your heel was a little lower, and you weren't sort of stumbling over your heels, stumbling over yourself, you know what, for this, wear your hair back, a little bit of brighter lipstick, just little things to say, but concentrate on the reason why they might be a little. And it mostly comes from within, or quite simply, they don't know how to do it, so we get up there and we show them. There's so many ways you can look at it, but every way you take something out of that contestant, entrant, girl, lady, grandma, and you make them step outside themselves, and they do it, then you know you've achieved it. And then from then, they've got confidence that they will then step outside themselves. And so the growth continues.
Would you say that's your favorite part about it?
It is my favourite part. Besides seeing them go, oh my goodness, I've won! That's my next favourite part. But I like seeing the growth. And already, since I started this in November, the growth I've seen come through in some of these girls already. Just in the photo shoots we've done with Huntmaster, our sponsor, Tour de Cure, and what Joanne Rowan, the PR, has been able to get these girls to do. Sue Turner, putting them in Global Elite Queens magazine. Some of these girls have only ever had birthday party photos taken and family photos. Now they find that they're on an international page of Glamorous Life, or they're staring back at themselves from Global Elite Queens. That in themselves is guiding them now onto each level. So I'm quite sure once we get onto that first rehearsal stage, the girls that first entered are going to be a whole different frame of themselves. And then we can move on from there.
That's really wonderful. I love how it's not just another pageant competition for you. A lot about it goes back into the growth from within. It's not just a regular fashion rehearsal, runway rehearsal, etiquette or stuff like that. It's a lot of self-awareness practices that allows them to shine from the inside. Because people always say if you shine bright from the inside, you're going to shine brighter than anyone else in the room.
That's it. And like a friend of mine, I've known her for quite a few years. She didn't know I was doing the pageant. And all of a sudden she saw it, she goes, I'm going to do this with me. And all of a sudden I see she's entered, and her son Flynn, gorgeous Flynn, go mummy. So excited. Can't wait to see mummy on stage in a pageant. And this is, it also brings families together. It brings encouragement from within inside the family unit. Once you've got that encouragement and that wonderful feeling inside the family unit, it does transfer to here. It brings that wonderful feeling out within yourself. And then, you know, if we need to grow it a little bit, we're all there to help.
It really does. We see a lot and talk a lot about the change of the girls. You were talking about how it changes relationships as well. Yeah. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
I think it can be on many levels, but I think when you see yourself as a wife and a mother, and the family unit is there, it's great, or wherever the family unit may be, when they see themselves step out of the comfort zone, and the children see their mum or dad step out of the comfort zone, and then the partner sees them step out of their comfort zone, it builds a strength and a respect. Wow, look at, that's my wife in that magazine. Wow, where has she been? We've got to support. How exciting. Mummy's in a magazine. Wow. It builds that growth and strength and bond and unity, and say, wow, we're going to help with mummy with this. And like Em from Jindabyne, She had a massive 11-hour challenge with the gym. She was on a treadmill for 11 hours.
Oh my God.
Took herself out of the comfort zone. But who was there? Hubby and Flynn and the media. And wow, where did this part of this gorgeous girl come from? Family, the support, and now it's there. So once again, it's finding that part and uniting the family, and then the family guiding.
Mm-hmm. It's that snowball effect again, isn't it?
Totally, and I just love that part. Like, I'm on my own now, but it creates a snowball effect in me to keep rolling forward. And another idea well, I can incorporate this. I can snowball as well. And then so I'll implement something else, and we'll go here and do that. And it's a great team building thing. And that's where World is. I mean, they contact each other and say, what do you think of this dress? Do you think I should wear that? They talk amongst themselves, and they're competing against each other. But it's not the word against, they're competing with each other.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
They're growing each other within their own sisterhood of world, which is then growing in their families and then growing in their whole outlook on themselves.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
Now, as a national director, you were saying that you're not part of the judging panel, but let's say that you were one of the judges. Let's disattach you from the national director title for this few seconds. What do you look for in a national representative? What makes a person worthy to represent their country?
Well, first of all, I look at how they've presented themselves. I think everybody is worthy because, number one, they really dug deep to get themselves up on stage and parade themselves. Number two, I have a couple of little things that really get on my nerves. You've got a brief. You read the brief on gowns, criteria for gowns, criteria for fitness wear, criteria for interview, whatever your pageant system may be. And then I find they get onto the stage. The first thing you see is massive big shoes with toes clawed over the front. I look and I go, oh my God, no. First thing I saw. No.
It just pops out to you.
The first thing should be the girl. So I just think that if I judged everything, what would make the girl worthy? It's that she actually listened, she read, she studied, she understood, and she came out there being what was expected of her to be. Not only within herself, but how she represents herself, how she delivers herself. Everyone is worthy, but it's just finding, listening, understanding the rules, the instructions, the whatever is there. There's always a brief, there's always a book, there's always instructions. If you carry every single one of those to the latter, and you know you've covered your outer persona, wow, everything else will just shine through. So that's my tip from me as an international judge. Read your brief. Present exactly as you know you should be. Because when you know you look good,
And you feel good.
you feel good. And emotionally, you won't be struggling. It's a massive emotional roller coaster out the back. You don't have props. You don't have a hurdle. You don't have a discus. You don't have 10 other girls forming a troop in cheerleading. It is all you. And so long as you know you have presented everything to the latter, well then, you know, once again you can Google. Go and have a look at the Miss Universes. See where their dresses are. See how they do things. Learn, study, because then, wow, you've got it all in a nutshell.
It's always better to be the most prepared.
Yeah.
Because that
always.
way you know yourself, you're able to look from within and then just focus on yourself.
Yeah.
Because like you said, when you're competing out there on a pageant stage, it's just you.
Yeah, and I actually want to see the whole package, not a particular part of the package.
Yeah.
I see the particular part of the package first and go, oh. When I see the whole package, I go, wow, this girl really wants this. What else has she got? And then that comes out when she presents herself.
That's wonderful. Now, let's say the girl has already won the crown. What do you, as a national director, do then?
Well, first of all, we get the photos done, we get the magazine cover shot, and we get them off, number one. Number two is go and give them a big cuddle and just say, wow, girlfriend, look who you are, look what you've done. I don't want them to do anything about anything from there, because they now have to go and find themselves as the person they have now just become on an international level. They're no longer at the Stanford at Sydney. They're no longer on a runway somewhere here in Australia. They've automatically hit the international media thing. Go back, enjoy. Enjoy what you've just done. Enjoy first. Understand next. Prepare next. And then go and conquer the world after that. But right there at that time, enjoy. And enjoy the elation. And that's what I just will tell my winners, my queens. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment. Don't think about anything else, because then we go on to the next stage. Just when they win, I don't leave them there. Then we go on to the next stage of everything, of prep, of understanding what's going on, of introducing them to World International, where it is, what we're doing, how it will be. And we start the training all over again, and the preparation and the guidance and the mentoring and how to wear your crown, not have it fall off, and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah.
I love that you're with them every single step of the way. From the very start, you prioritize getting to know the girls, improving on who they already are, bringing out the inner beauty that they already have but may not even realize just yet, and then going for 3 days, sitting back and watching all the results just shine.
That's it.
Just shine through. And then once the winner is announced, you go back to work and you're like, all right, we're going to go through everything again, but first you need to realize who you are now. Go back to what you want to do with this new perspective of who you are, essentially. How do you keep yourself together?
I'm a bit of a driven person, if you didn't already realise that. I just think that I lose it.
We all do.
You know, but I enjoy seeing the growth of people. I enjoy being able to help people, because I've enjoyed that part of me, of watching growth. I found people inside me I never knew existed. I liked finding those people. I want to find more people inside me. But I'm the kind of person that wants to take people with me. I've never put myself on a level that I think I'm more up there than somebody else. I love grabbing people and saying, hey, come along. You know, I share the crown. I went into Camilla the other day and I bought this gorgeous t-shirt and goes, every queen shares their crown. And I do. We go to a function, my girlfriends come along, but you've got a crown and frock up, so I'll loan them one of my crowns. And it's, it's taking people with me and seeing where we all end up. Not where I end up or they end up, it's where we all end up. And I think that's important, to keep a mindset and a focus on, if you choose to create this, and you choose to travel with this, just pack the bus or the plane full, pack your bags, and take a whole lot of people with you and see where they can travel and grow to. Because that's the only way that we're going to beat cancer. We're going to help with depression. We're going to help with mental health. Because we've got something to concentrate on. That's very important. And I know after one of my first interviews, across the bottom came, if you have any mental issues, you can call Lifeline. And I looked, it took me back. I stood there and I didn't know whether to feel upset. How dare they? And I went, hang on a minute. You've just told the whole world you went to Google how to commit suicide. That's what Lifeline's there for. And I went, wow, let's all become a lifeline for everybody that we choose to take with us. And that's what I'm there with the girls. I'm a lifeline because I'm a lifetime to myself first. Put the lifeline out there, get them all on board, and take them all.
It's that sense of teamwork in family. That's really nice. Now, what do you hope to see more in the future?
I just want to see more smiles. That's important to me, is see someone smile, especially when you know you've touched their heart or you've touched them in a way, a smile. I would, in the future, I mean, you can talk on, we can use this fabulous Miss Congeniality, world peace. I mean, it is so true though, world peace. But I think that I want to see a cohesive connection with people. I'd like to see more respect. But I'd just like to see growth in people, because when you grow and you grow in the right direction, it's just so effective. And I think that if we do all of this, and I can leave my little bit of a footprint, and I can say, hey, I helped these people. I had a chance and an opportunity that instead of shying away from it, I actually grabbed it by the horns and ran with it. Let's see, that's just what I'd like in the future. And with pageantry, I'd like to see it open up and get really people understanding what it's all about and the growth that they can achieve, as well as feeling great about themselves and going out and buying a frock and putting nail polish on and lipstick and all of this sort of stuff. It's just a growth everywhere. And I'd love to have more people, more families, more kids, more guys, more women, no age barrier, to see where they can take themselves.
We talk a lot about smashing down the barriers and smashing down social stereotypes that society puts on all of us, whether that be age or whatever it is you feel makes you different from whatever is mainstream. Practice more love, not just for others but for yourself as well.
That's it.
The more that you prioritize loving yourself and living through it, the better you'll be able to make out of yourself, and the better you'll be able to make out of life. There is so much to the future for you. Now let's look at the bigger picture. What are some of the future events that we should be looking out for?
Well, besides different photo shoots with our sponsors and everything for Australia, New Zealand, world, the pageant itself, which is now 4, 5 and 6 of September this year, 2020, and it's being held at the Stamford Plaza and Conference Centre at Sydney Airport. So unfortunately, due to COVID, we will not be having World US come down because they quite simply can't get here. But they will be watching avidly, and we're just going to have a great time. And then after that, of course, we've got the Miss World pageant in America. Once again, waiting to see when everything will happen with that. But just through the whole time, we are going to have different snippets of what it's like to be a part of the Miss Australia New Zealand World pageant. So keep an eye out on social media.
Yep, definitely. So how can people get access, or how can they be an audience for that competition?
Right. Well, we have through Try Booking. If you go on to Try Booking, it's the Miss Australia New Zealand World Pageant. You can certainly go on and purchase tickets for that. And also you can go to www.robbiecanna.com.au, and there is the official Australian New Zealand World Pageant Facebook page out there, and everything is also posted on that in regular. If you're coming to join us and you wish to stay and spend the evening at the Stanford and enjoying all the fun and frivolities of the pageant, everything will be listed there, so you can grab your tickets, you can come and join us and just watch all the fun that we're all having. And the main thing is our major sponsor of Huntmaster, and of course Tour de Cure, and which you can also follow them on their website for all the work they are doing, raising money for much needed funds for cancer research.
That sounds amazing, but let's not forget, what about you? Where can people find more about you?
There is another page that my gorgeous PR has started up. It's @official Robbie Canna. There's a lot about me there, but mostly on the website of www.robbiecanna.com.au is a lot of stuff of where I am, who I am, where I've come from, my journey at the moment, and definitely where we're going to be heading into the future. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. I have enjoyed sitting with you today and chatting a little bit of everything with you, from coming from a dark place, going back, reflecting on yourself. You're always going back into that self-reflection. Self-reflection, I feel like, is one of your main practices in everything that you do. It's such a strong foundation in who you are today. It's allowed you to overcome challenges as a contestant, which has allowed you to win titles back to Australia, and then everyone's like, oh my gosh, she's here, she's so beautiful, and now everyone's really interested in who you are and what you're doing and what your next plans are. And the fact that throughout the process you're kind of speeding up that snowball, really touching on to more lives, impacting more people through your story, especially through raising awareness for cancer research. And now 2 years later, you're a national director for Miss Australia World, Miss New Zealand World. You're helping so many beautiful girls through not just helping them go on stage, but you're helping them create a stage for themselves.
That's it.
Demolishing all stereotypes that society has built for us, and letting them realize that there is more to them, that there is more value to them than they realize, and they just need to be willing to look inside and bring it out. Silence everything, be self-aware, and just own the stage, really.
Own themselves.
Thank you
Very
so
important.
much.
Thank you very much as well. It's been an absolute pleasure.
I'm really excited to see what else you're going to do in the future. She is a wonderful woman from our very own country, Australia. She's represented us internationally, and she continues to do so with such grace and poise. Not only does she represent herself, not only does she represent her country, but she represents our people. And I'm really glad to sit and chat with her, because she is a pageant contestant that in just 2 years she's become a national director, and there is so much to the future that holds for her and everyone else that she brings along. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I had such a pleasure sitting and chatting with Robbie Canna. Make sure you tune in to our channel next time. Make sure you hit the like button, and remember that the glitz and glam is fame, but it's the work backstage that makes the game. I'll see you guys next time.